I'm Jaycee.
I'm Gwen.
And we are the correspondents for Amideast for the Fall 2018 Morocco program.
So we've been here for about 3 weeks now, and we apologize in advance if you hear some authentic Moroccan traffic, because we're outside on Jaycee's homestay terrace. So we are collaborating on this blog post to tell you about our most recent adventure to Mount Toubkal.
Mount Toubkal is the highest peak in the Arab world. It is beautiful, it's stunning, and in the Atlas Mountains. It's about 4,165 meters high, which for my American friends is just over 4,000 feet.
Tall.
About the same size as Mount Rainier in Washington. So, for some context.
It was absolutely amazing, but it was kind of a trek to get there. We started with a 5-hour train ride from Rabat to Marrakesh, and the trains in Morocco are usually on time, but we had ran into some delays, as you can see with this picture of our friends standing outside taking a break. Once we got to Marrakesh station, there was a bus waiting for us, and it took about an hour and a half. You can see in this little clip the beautiful scenery, and this bus took us to Imlil village, which is located at the base of Mount Toubkal, and that's where we stayed for our first night.
When we got to the Imlil village, our hosts were two Amideast brothers who took us into their refuge, which was awesome. They had some dinner waiting for us. They served us Berber soup, which is wheat and hot water and salt added to taste, which was served with bread as well, so it was quite filling. It was definitely unlike anything I'd ever had, so it was cool. It was awesome.
Yeah. And then we went to bed early because the next day we were up at bright and early, 6 a.m., breakfast at 7 a.m., and then we were on our hike at 8 a.m. for 9 miles. It was 9 miles from Imlil village to the Toubkal refuge.
Yeah, 9 miles doesn't seem like a lot, but going up an incline for 9 miles was hard. I would say it was one of the most physically demanding things I've ever done in my life.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
In fact, we got to the refuge, which was like halfway up Toubkal from Imlil. I got quite sick from altitude sickness, along with several other members of the group. Yeah, sad. I was unable to summit actually because I was so sick. But based on the smile on my face, you can tell it didn't ruin the trip, because it was still amazing just to be in the Atlas Mountains and to hike and be with everyone.
For sure.
And to meet a lot of the Amideast people who lived in the mountains understand their culture and their way of life, which was really, really interesting.
At Toubkal refuge, it was significantly colder than Rabat, which we've been enjoying 80-degree weather, and we
Every single day.
Went to probably about 40s. Yeah, so it was pretty cold. But thankfully the beds were all shared, so it was 4 to bottom and top bunks, so nice and warm under blankets, you can see in this picture. But we also again went to bed early after dinner, because the following day we got up even earlier at 4 a.m. Yeah, so thankfully I did not experience altitude sickness, although my hands did swell up my feet and I felt tightness in my chest, but that's part of just the altitude feeling, and then the cold, so it took a huge toll on our bodies, but we were up bright and early and excited for our hike, and we hiked from 5 a.m. to about 9:30 a.m., so it took us 4.5 hours
to get to the summit.
Yep, to get to the top, and 2.5 hours were actually in the dark, so we could see the stars. It was absolutely gorgeous, but a little bit dangerous. Thankfully there were other people there, so we followed along, and when we reached the summit it was absolutely gorgeous. The clouds cleared, and one of the great parts of leaving at really early in the morning was that we got to see the sunrise, so it was beautiful and unforgettable. One of the most amazing experiences I've had in my life.
So at 11:30, just before noon, when they got back from their summit, those of us who didn't attempt the summit, we were waiting with all our packs, ready to go. We flew down the mountain because we had to get back to Imlil by 4 o'clock. It took us about 3.5 or 4 hours to get from the base of Toubkal to Imlil, and then we took a bus back to Marrakesh and a train from Marrakesh to Rabat, where we're living. So we finally got back to Rabat at about midnight, and we had class the next morning at 9 a.m., every single one of us did. So it was a super long weekend. We left Friday afternoon, got back really late Sunday night.
Yeah.
Super tiring, but overall, one of the best experiences I've had in Morocco.
For sure.
Despite being sick for such a long portion of it. But I would say if anyone is going to Morocco, if anyone has plans to be in the Maghreb region, please visit the Atlas Mountains.
Definitely.
They're so beautiful.
Definitely.
It was amazing.
Yeah, we loved it and we're loving it here in Morocco. Stay tuned for our next blog posts and we look forward to sharing our adventures.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.